Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on a webinar. Today, you will learn more on how can you drive new business opportunities and build lasting relationships with your clients. My name is Ivona Magdic, and I will be your host. During the presentation, please feel free to ask any questions in the Q&A section, which is located on the right bottom side of your screen. We will do our best to answer all of them after the presentation. Firstly, I would like to introduce our presenters, Mr. Sanel Volaric, who is our expert consultant, C-level manager with vast experience in product development and digitalization in the financial industry, and Krešimir Šuljak, who is business development expert in ASECO, has extensive knowledge and experience in business analysis, project management, and development for global clients in various sectors. Today's agenda is focused on how to establish better digital customer experience and make your business more productive. Now, a few words about our company. The ASECO Group has presence in more than 55 countries. We develop innovative IT solutions for millions of people around the world. These solutions have a real impact on the reality around us. As one of the biggest software providers in Europe, we use our cross-sector international know-how and experience to meet the ever-growing expectations of our customers, especially in banking. Modern banking accompanies customers around the clock wherever they are. The role of classical branches has been taken over by mobile and digital solutions, which must be easy to operate, comfortable, and safe. Customers of both commercial and cooperative banks expect an offer which is adapted to their needs. More about these trends, opportunities, and challenges you will hear from Sanel.
Hello, everyone. It's great to have all of you with us today. At the very beginning of this webinar, we will make a short review of the key trends of digital transformation and opportunities it provides to retail banking organizations. But before that, I would like to give a broad view of the overall impact of the digital revolution on the industries. Probably the best framework to do so is one developed by Global Center for Digital Business Transformation, which is a composite index that measures the impact through 4 dimensions: how much money is invested for digital disruption of the industry, when and what rate digital disruption is likely to happen, how strong are barriers to entry for digital disruptors, and what is the potential magnitude of disruption. This framework represents the impact of digital disruptions as a storm vortex. The closer an industry is to the vortex center, the more influence it is by digital disruption. It illustrates the power, speed, and unpredictability to change linked to digital disruption. The key message from the last research is we have already been living in the digital age. Over 88% of respondents are reporting that digital disruption will have a major or transformative impact on their industries. We have seen the tremendous impact of digital disruption on the economy over the last 4 years. While 4 years ago, only 27% of the executives and senior managers perceived the impact of digital disruption as major or transformative, today more than 88% of them share that opinion. This is a common understanding among them that many legacy traditional players will be soon removed from the market, around 1/3 in average per industry. But there is one more useful insight from this research. Executives from only 3 industries, including the financial one, are more concerned than confident about their ability to respond effectively to digital disruption. In other words, leaders in financial industry still perceive digital disruption more as a threat than an opportunity. So it's not the question anymore if we are doing business in digital age or not. Also, it's not a question that none of us is able to resist that powerful force, the digital storm vortex. The only question is if we are ready to actively respond to that reality, to embrace the challenge and harness the new opportunities for our business development. According to this research, the number of such proactive companies in this area is growing, but still only 34%. As well, the number of companies with the articulated digital strategy jumped from 54 to 75%, but only 22% of them is taking a professional systematic portfolio approach linked to clear business outcomes. Let's be more specific about financial industry. The financial industry is constantly among 5 industries most vulnerable to digital disruption, but still not on the first line, still not the most exposed to the digital vortex. It partially provides a comfortable situation for incremental approach to digital transformation, but it's very unpredictable for how long this situation will remain. The industry should not be relaxed about it. The sense of urgency is definitely required. Digital Banking Report provides probably the most comprehensive research about trends and strategic priorities among retail banking organizations. The ranking of the top 10 trends was done by providing a list of trends previously identified by leaders and industry experts to executive and managers of banks to provide their top 3 predictions. A year later, they report the actual importance for each of the trends covered by the research. The most important takeaways from this research are simplification of customer journey, improving analytics, and integration of delivery channels are the main identified and experienced trends. Impact of the most of the trends was slightly overestimated the year before. It seems that impact of new competition coming from other industries, large tech fins and fintechs, was much more painful than expected. These trends and predictions reflect the reality of retail banking sector that siloed and heterogeneous systems are not well suited for the level of agility and scalability required for the digital age. The research shows that the most financial institutions understand the major trends that are impacting the industry, as well what is needed to be done as a response to this trend. But the real challenge for the organization is mobilizing and creating digital program and its execution in alignment with that understanding. From my own experience, working with banks as internal or external expert, the organizations obviously have many excellent experts that understand the major trends and what need to be done as a response to them. But their IT budgets are locked down by compliance-related initiatives, data security, and legacy maintenance reports, what is reducing available capacity for innovation and business model transformation. So far, it was looking back view. Now let's see what's ahead of us. What are the predictions about future trends provided by executives and senior leaders of retail banking organizations? Major takeaways here are: the overall list of top 10 trends identified by the industry has remained relatively consistent. There are some minor changes in position of some identified trends. For efficient digital transformation, retail bankers will need partnerships and collaboration with the right external partners. It's important to notice that these partnerships are much higher ranked than internal talent management, which is at the last place. After predictions and assessments, let's go to something more tangible. Let's see what the major specific strategic priorities and objectives are, or better, commitments given to the stakeholders via strategic plans. Reducing operational costs are constantly on the radar of these organizations. Again, lowering focus on developing internal talents to meet changing needs, but growing effort for external partnerships. But the most important insight from this part of the research is a significant jump in the level of commitment to improving the customer experience compared to the last year's research, 84% versus 72% in the last year.
overview of the trends and challenges in digital transformation, but also for the opportunities this process makes for the companies such as ASECO. All the numbers we have seen are interesting, but I want to continue with the relation to one fact from the latest slide. You said 84% of organizational leaders identified digital customer experience as their strategic priority in time to come. So here we are not talking about some number representing a trend. We are talking the actual strategy CEOs presented to their supervisory boards. Customer experience is a very well-known term to all of you, and I believe you all have opinions about it. We have a digital prefix now attached to it, as we are living in the digital era. Forbes research tells us that 62% of companies view customer experience delivered by the organization as a competitive advantage, and that whopping 67% of customers will pay more for a great experience. Those numbers are impressive. Add digital and communication to these customer experience equations, and you can really build lasting relationships with the entire customer base, creating regular engagement and trust, which are vital to having a good customer experience. Speaking of customer experience, we must talk about the communication. Majority of starts and ends with the communication. ASECO recognized the importance of it and difference that having integrated communication channels and customer history information can make to individualized and personal service possible across a variety of channels. You now see conceptual overview of ASECO Live solution with all the functionalities that can help your organization to establish an environment that will provide enhanced customer experience with all relevant information called upon one central interface with no need to change systems when switching channels from client and bank point of view. This feature also shows functionalities and features our product can offer, from traditional communication channels across BPM modules to virtual branch. Technology has changed the way banks work, and perhaps more importantly, how customers interact with them. While branches still exist, clients do not venture into them unless they absolutely must. And that's where ASECO can help the organizations on their path to become digital. Virtual branch basically can digitalize your customer service so you can better manage complexity and improve operational efficiency. What does it mean? It adds new digital channels such as video and social networks to your company profile, making you look innovative and digital, especially to younger generations. Speaking of that, a few days ago, I caught myself talking how Generation Z is coming, just to realize we're in 2020 and these guys, at least some of them, are already grown-up people. It also makes doing things remotely possible. And here I talk about closing the deals with digital signature, which of course can be differently regulated in different markets. But our product is ready to work with almost all recognized and qualified certificate authorities. Combining the best of technology and people, ASECO helps you understand the entire customer journey and creatively apply the right technology at the right time. This means our virtual branch and digital communication channels will help you to serve your customers immediately. After one identifies product or a service he is interested for, no leads will be left behind, and complete process will start and finish digitally. A few years ago, this was sci-fi, but the time to lead and grow your business digitally is now. Other functionalities making ASECO Live not just communication platform, but comprehensive CRM can enable your organization to serve clients who are now more than ever expecting information that must be provided according to personal needs and wants and the individual level of know-how to avoid misunderstandings and create real benefits. Being quick and transparent is therefore vital in every interaction with the client, especially digital one. ASECO Live is also equipped with additional features and channels in virtual branch, from nice-to-have ones such as service to some, I would say, must-have ones such as co-browsing, which can make the process of, for instance, guiding your clients through negotiating terms on buying particular product more easy and comfortable, both for you and the customer. Nay, virtual branch is in its nature connected to sales. We all go to branch to buy something, but beside that, it can offer a lot more. In a digital way, of course. But few more words on that in the second part of today's webinar.
interesting insight on how much communication, digital channels, and virtual branch can impact on a customer experience. Sanal, as someone who has extensive executive experience managing development of distribution channels and as a CSO, you led major digital transformation programs. Can you tell us most important lessons and insights you have learned?
Chat and announce that I would leave my comfort zone of IT and operations to take responsibility for sales and the distribution development. We need you there, he said at that time. Today we talked a lot about trends and predictions. Predictions on the market and in my company, but also in my family, about my future career in sales were not very pessimistic. He was okay in IT, but he will fail for sure in sales. But sometimes predictions fail. Actually, today I'm much prouder of my career in sales than one in IT. Of course, as an IT guy in sales, I was very much involved in digital transformation of sales and distribution. So I would like to share some experiences and some lessons learned that I collected during that time. First, I would like to mention people. Don't focus on customer experience and neglect employee experience. Treat Salesforce as a customer and enable them to serve the real customers in the right way. Great sales employee experience will lead you to the great customer experience. So the first experience I would like to mention is definitely digital transformation in sales is not about reducing FTEs, firing people and closing brick and mortar offices. It's much more about enabling your people to be more efficient and more productive, to provide personalized digital experience to the final customers. Optimized network of physical branches must be a customer engagement hub, the place where we meet our customers and learn about their needs and their preferences. The second, I don't appreciate digital programs that push cost cuttings as the most important objectives. Of course, if you need to run some legacy business model that cannot be improved significantly, of course, you will optimize its cost structure. But the main objective of digital programs is profitable growth via smart and innovative investments. So digital transformation is increasing costs, but also increasing revenues much more than costs. Third, digital is not a simple moving the customer to digital channels. It's about enabling them to have a preferred channel at the moment and to reach his or her personal financial advisor through the channel who knows everything about her or him. Have you ever met a person who likes IVRs or today smart IVRs called chatbots or virtual assistants? My kids got one as a Christmas present, and it was interesting for them only for 2 or 3 days. Now it's laying on our shelf. People will always want to work with other real people, but with people that are enabled by their organizations, that are skillful and customer oriented. The fourth, digital transformation is not only about providing existing products on web shop. Digital transformation is a transformation of product portfolio first to make it digital ready. The last one is an opportunity. Mentioned digital transformation of the product portfolio should be only a step ahead to the final goal, developing platforms on the top of the products, creating ecosystems around them, with the company positions in the center of that ecosystem. When you buy a mortgage in a bank, nobody asks you about services that you need for moving to that property, about transport, furniture, painters, additional insurance, and so on. Banks have an excellent position to become centers of ecosystems and build platforms on the top of banking products. But this opportunity is still to be discovered. Insurers don't have so favorable a position as banks, but despite that, me and my team developed a loyalty program as a platform that connects our retail segment to our business segment. Our business partners were enabled to make special offers and approach our retail customers having active policies in corresponding segments. For them, it was a great opportunity to grow revenue without additional marketing costs. The banks are in much better position to position themselves to the centers of ecosystems of their partners. It's still the best way to increase customer experience and their loyalty that lead to profitable growth. But the platform requires a very intensive communication among the partners, members of the ecosystems, that must be properly supported by a digital platform.
This was really extensive knowledge and experience. Thank you for that. So our focus is digitalization and enabling people. Krešimir, can you tell us from your experience, how do we do it?
Sanel mentioned how important it is to enable your customers to have choice of their preferred channel. In first part of my presentation, we also discussed that. Also, he said enabling your employees to be more productive and effective is also a big part of digital transformation. And this exactly is our goal, to reconcile new technology and your employees, making sure it is understood that we are a tool that helps employees in making their clients and employer happy and satisfied. We understand, and I really do not want anyone to be offended with this statement, that for some companies, digital transformation may be considered as a costly and unnecessary commitment. And there is no doubt that this process takes time, investment, and patience. But at the end, it is definitely worth it. We are here to provide technology for business and solutions for people. Within this journey, we are your partners, and we help you through this process with our know-how gained through the years. But rest assured, we know great service is a human thing, even if it's virtual. It is still the people that make the difference and build relationships. Our solution is aimed at making service more personal and human, while generating a high return of investment for the business. Complex products or information can be hard to explain over traditional channels. Virtual branch lets you guide and advise your customers in real time, saving time and money, making a perfect opportunity to gain additional trust and loyalty, where upsell and cross-sell is just a matter of time. And let me talk examples. After webinar, in thank you email, you will receive materials with our reference list. There are a number of companies on that list that already implemented our virtual branch, and they're using it to cover different areas in customer-related processes. From digital sales and digital onboarding, which are always most attractive to finance industry, across digital assistance with the objective to positively impact customer satisfaction, to compliance and regulation-related processes such as anti-money laundering, where identification is prerequisite to perform a type of transaction. And not to mention one interesting case where one organization having majority of our country seamen, and Croatia is known as maritime country, as clients, and they used our virtual branch to make audio call available for those guys. And remember, they are all around the world, these seamen. Before, these guys had to call landline number, hoping someone will pick up, not to mention costs of that type of communication. Now they and this company also use data plans, so it's almost free of charge for them to communicate wherever they are. I say this because I want to emphasize the fact, feasibility, and applicability of digital channels and virtual branch. It's up to you to check on your current setup and identify where to make breakthrough and go digital. Also, and now I talk about one very big project here in Croatia. It's a regional leader in finance industry, and the digitalization they accomplished with Asseco as a partner. Back in time, when we started talking the possibilities, their current environment, their setup was granulated from communication channels to their core system. This type of setup simply cannot make anyone happy or satisfied, take internally or external. So together we started. First, we took care of the communication channels. We streamlined it. We made it integrated with the customer history and other relevant information. And later we went more digital, introducing new channels such as video, and then we took care of the processes as a natural extension to a communication. As we are all aware of, each interaction, regardless of channel and direction, can be a beginning of a beautiful friendship. But to nurture this friendship, company needs to have a context and history together in one place and easy to reach. This led us to the process a lot of us see as the most important one, sales. Together, we managed to digitalize it end to end, making this process more transparent, both for the company and the customer, and this made the process manageable and more resistant to constant change. And not to forget the situation we witnessed for the last few months. And unfortunately, some parts of the world are still under the lockdown, and this opened our eyes and fast forwarded some expectations related to technology adoption for at least 2 or 3 years. We all saw how digital channels can suddenly become not just preferred, but only available ones. And this situation was our opportunity to once again prove ourselves to our customers that we can act quickly and deliver what they needed the most in that hard times. According to discussions we had recently, I'm proud to confirm that we succeeded. We helped them on their way to digitalize their business, or at least some parts of it, even if it wasn't on the brightest occasion. And this brings us near the end of the part where we talk. I will now hand over the microphone to Ivona. Q&A session is ahead. Now it's your time to ask anything that might interest you, and we will try to answer all your questions.
We are ready for your questions from the audience. We actually received a couple of them before the presentation, so I'm just going to start with that. So can you guys please tell me, how fast can you implement a virtual branch solution?
Okay, so there were some, let's say, implementation times, but let's be realistic and try to put all the factors into the equation of one virtual branch implementation. It depends, on the readiness of our partner, of the law and regulation on the market. But let's say we are talking about the product, not some solution has to be developed. So we're talking about the modules, about the functionalities already developed. So I would say from month to 3 months, depending on volume of the desired channels and readiness of our partner. And you can never forget, third-party companies or someone who is also part of the project. But let's say from 1 month to 3 months, this is the time that we can deliver and implement the virtual branch.
Next question is, what is your prediction for banking in next 3 to 5 years in terms of digitalization? Sanal, can you help us with that one?
So next 3 to 5 years in financial industries and especially in retail banking will be a struggle. So as we said before, their budgets and their resources are very much locked down by compliance, security, and running legacy business on one side. On the other side, customer expectations are raised by other competitors, by other industries. So the same people doing business in the other industries are fully digitalized, and then they come to work with the banking or insurance sector, and then suddenly the level of digital communication is much lower than they used to have in their daily life. So financial institutions in a struggle between these two trends, and definitely they will need a reliable and skillful partners that will help them to approach this digital program and catch up with the trends, because banks and other financial institutions are not only competing each other. There are more and more competitors coming from other industries, from IT industry and other industries, that will take some researchers say that they will take almost 1/3 of their incomes over the next 2 to 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Can I use virtual branch only as a support tool without digital signature? Krešimir?
Our partners can prove it, because digital signature is not available on every market. But to use digital channels in any type of process is, I think, something we can do even without the digital signature. I mentioned something before in the first part of my presentation. about the processes that can be covered with these digital channels. So it is something related to customer satisfaction, customer assistance. I think people from companies who are, taking care about the customer satisfaction, that they all are aware of the examples where lots of time and everything is spent, on explaining the customers, where the complexity of products or services is very high. And in these situations, to make a video call or to co-browse together with the contact center agent, I think it can be really helpful. So yes, in customer satisfaction related matters or customer assistance, even in sales, but this close the deal part will happen, maybe physically, but this is only one part of the process. And to come to that part, to signing the contract, we can have like 2, 3, or 4 maybe virtual meetings and do it everything, virtually. So I will come to your bank just one time, sign the document and go home, not 4 times to negotiate or to find additional information on a product or a service.
How is it possible that banks are lowering focus on internal talents and there are a need for getting external partners? Sano, please.
I don't think that executives and managers in financial industries and banking are not understanding that not only data are the oil of 21st century and the digital era. They know very well that people data are the oil of the digital era. Just I understand this, that they are becoming aware that huge organizations that they used before, that develop everything they needed, is not option anymore. They understand very well that they will need to open their system, to transform them in digital platforms, open to their partners. They will need partnerships on the market that will help them to catch up with the trends influenced by the digital transformation of the economy and the whole society.
That's all the questions we have for today. Thank you so much for being here with us once again. Hope this was a good experience for you as it was for us. For any additional questions, suggestions, comments, please use the information you see on your screen to contact us. Take care and goodbye.